Hey guys, welcome back to another JavaScript programming tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to be talking about the console and basically all the different methods which are attached to it and what you can basically do with it. So in most of these tutorials you would have seen I've actually been using the console a lot because it's pretty much like the only way I can really quickly show the output of something without having to. Obviously you could create something in HTML, create something like a text or a paragraph, then just update it there, but I feel like that's a bit slow and the console is just a really quick way of showing you guys what's actually happening. So that's why we use the console a lot, and it doesn't actually go away. You pretty much use the console throughout your entire thing, throughout your entire career, because it's really useful to quickly see something. So yeah, the regular one is just obviously console.log. So if I go to here, open it up, if we do console.log, that's literally just going to be like the equivalent of the print statement in other languages. So if you just console.log, this is a regular, we'll just call this message. So here you can just see it gets logged here, and this is useful for debugging values. Like if you wanted to print a value, you can pretty much pass any variable into here. So let's just create a string var, and this is going to be a string. Then we can also do int var, which is an int. Then we can make something like a bool var, which is, we'll just make it true. And yeah, you can basically pass any of these in. So we'll see if I send in a string, it's gonna print out string because that's the value. Send in the int, it's gonna print it in 1, then return that and gives me true. And I'm pretty sure you can also combine them, although this might actually cause an error. Oh, but I guess not. So it actually just converts them into a string first, and then it actually does it. You can attach multiple strings, so this is like hello and then another string there, and you can see that it looks a bit weird here, but you know, they've been attached. So yeah, that's the regular one. That's just console.log, really simple. So you know, now the next one I have is actually console.error or console.warn. I'll start with that. So console.warn is pretty similar to console.log, except it's just going to be like a warning. So this is a warning, do not do something. So you can see it comes up in this yellow special font and special message, and basically you can actually use this as a sort of like a way of communicating with your user. Well, not really a user, but someone who's working on a project as well. They could be debugging your code and then see this warning and then do something. So there's console.warn, and then there's also console.error, which is basically just this caused an error, and you'll see it actually comes up with another thing. And a special thing about error is that it also tells you where it occurred. So you can see it gives you the message, and then it also gives you the trace back to it. So if I click on this, you'll see this is where it happened. So yeah, those were the cool ones. And then of course you have other ones like we have console. We're gonna go over here. We have console.info, console.debug, I'm not sure what the other ones are, and then I think we just have warn and error. But yeah, those are basically other types of console things, and you can access them by going in here. But I'm not going to get into that too much because you know, it's not too important. So next thing we have is if we go over to here, we can actually do something called a console.table. So let's just create a object up here. Let's just call it cons object, and I'm just going to have something like a name, put in RASK, and I'll have an age 100, and let's have something like gender, and I'll just put in male. So that's my object. And now if we want to actually see this in a nice table, what we can do is we can actually do console.table, pass in the object, and you can see it actually comes up like this, which is looking really nice. And then I think another thing we can do is we can actually have multiple of these in an array. So let's just say we have 2 of these, set that to 2, and then let's create an array. Const object array is equal to object and object 2, and if we try and pass this array in, you'll see that we actually get a nice table, which is why it's called console.table. So you can see it gives you the index as well as the name, age and gender, which are all fields of the object we pass. So what's going to happen if we add another thing, like let's just say we have something like I don't know, probably not really sure what to add. I'm just going to add random value, and we'll just set this to random. And you can see now what happens is that in the first one that doesn't exist, so it just becomes blank. Second one, it actually adds it in. So yeah, that's console.table, which can be useful if you're trying to view some data. And yeah, so the final one I'm actually going to cover is called console.time, and as you guessed, it actually just times an operation. So let's say we have an array and we want to time how long it takes to create and add an item. So what we can do is, let's just say this is our code, const array is equal to this, and I know this is actually a list, but it's pretty much the same thing. So let's say we want to push an item to the array. Let's just have push 10. So this is our operation, and we want to see how long it takes. What we can do is we can actually start a console.time here, and you'll see we actually have to provide a label for it. We don't have to, but it's always good to. So let's just call this time array. And then you can see nothing happens because we actually need to either console.times log or console.time end, or also timestamp, but you know. So I'm just going to time end it, and if we end it, make sure we supply the same thing. Then you can see this actually took 0.08 milliseconds, which I guess is expected. Like, you're expecting it to be really fast because it's literally just pushing something to an array. If we duplicate it a bunch of times, you can see that increases, not by much. What I'm going to do is actually make a loop, repeat this like a bunch of times, and we'll just do that, and now you can see that actually took a significantly longer time, 5.2, and yeah, you can see that this is basically just logging it. And if you don't want to end it, the time log thing can actually log it. So we can do this, and then if we want to do that again, let's not do that, then we could actually log it again and maybe end it like here, time end. And you can see now the first one is talking about this part, and then the second one is talking about this part, and I'm assuming that it took the extra time, or the time difference was a bit, like you can see there's 3 seconds where you're actually kind of expecting them to be pretty much the same, and that's simply because I'm pretty sure this took an extra 2 seconds for something like the time log, as well as all these other things were happening in the background. So yeah, thanks for watching. Those were the basic console methods. So we had like log, warn, error, then we had table, and then we have time. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the future tutorial. Bye!